Well, on to this. This is hard to believe. Des Moines Schools superintendent arrested by ICE. ICE announcing Friday that Ian Andre Roberts is, quote, a criminal illegal alien from Ghana in possession of a loaded handgun, $3,000 in cash, and a fixed-blade hunting knife. At the time of his arrest, Roberts was working as the superintendent of Des Moines Public Schools, despite being an illegal alien with a final order of removal and no work authorization. Roberts has existing weapons possession charges from February 5th, 2020, and was given a final order of removal by an immigration judge in May of 2024. Absolutely stunning. Former acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf joins me now. You know, Chad, you and I worked together when I was in the White House. Yeah. It is shocking to me that someone in charge of our school district, the largest school district in Iowa, had a final removal order. How does that happen? I don't think it would have happened under your tenure.
Well, it's a great question. Obviously, the school district did not do their due diligence. He has a criminal record as well. So clearly they didn't do any type of background investigation. The amazing part here is he has no work authorization. So when they enter this individual's information into their system in order to get paid, to pay taxes and the like, all sorts of red flags should have been prompted there. So I think it'll be interesting to see what they say, to see how this individual, did he use an alias? How did this come about? And I think it begged the further question of the amount of illegal aliens that are here in the United States working in everyday jobs and the like. And some of them, like this individual who has a possession charge, has other criminal acts on their record, and to be so close to school children, right? To be part of the education system there in Des Moines is really troubling.
I mean, Chad, I look at these pictures and I see kids, and I think that could have been my kid. And this guy had a criminal charge. Do you think? And again, I know I'm asking you to speculate here. Did they just not input his name into the system? How often does this happen? I mean, there are measures in place. I mean, it seems like it'd have to take a whole lot of looking the other way to not find this.
I think so. Look, the school system there, just like any other employer around the country, has an obligation to make sure that everyone that they're hiring is here in the United States legally, has the ability to work legally. So if they're not a U.S. citizen, then they have some type of work authorization provided by the federal government. In this case, the Department of Homeland Security. He didn't have any of this. And so the question is, did he provide a fraudulent Social Security number and was operating as someone else? And if not, I think there's a lot of questions that school system has to answer. And the question is, are there others there as well?
Yeah, you know, Secretary Wolf, that's a great question. And back to our top story of the day, because I want viewers to understand, you were at DHS, Department of Homeland Security. Underneath that is U.S. Secret Service, who found this vast network of servers. Matt McCool from Secret Service had this to say. He said it would be unwise to think that there's not networks like this all across the country. You were at DHS. Do you think there could be networks of servers beyond New York in cities like Chicago, LA, Miami, all across the country?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I agree with the agent there. I think this is a wake-up call, not only for everyday Americans, but just others involved in the fight here. And the good thing, which I heard the chairman say, is that we have agencies in the federal government, state and local partners, and others that are dealing with this each and every day. And we see types of incidents like this. We see probes. We see other things from nation-state actors and others that get interdicted almost on a daily basis. Not all of them make the news. This is a significant one. This is concerning for a variety of different reasons. They can enable denial of service attacks and take down cell towers, as was mentioned here. So I think what this says is, because we have an open society, we need to rely more and more on our investigative powers that we provide to certain law enforcement intelligence agencies so that they can go about this and thwart this before it begins. But this should be a wake-up call. There are bad people that want to take down Americans and do Americans harm every single day. They reside outside of the United States, but they also reside here in the United States as well.
It's terrifying, but it's great to know that Secret Service was on it. Secretary Wolf, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.